All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here, we're live, we're taking your questions. Get them in the chat box wherever it appears on your screen. I'm going to try to answer them for you. Super chats get a spin of the wheel. We put extra chances on there for you to get entered in next week's prize drawing. So we're going to finally give away a snowboard of some kind. I don't know what snowboard exactly yet. I'm looking around. There's a bunch of snowboards. Maybe someone will get a half cut in half Gilson. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So that's what we got going on. But yeah. Anyways, if you're listening to this on SoundCloud tomorrow, I apologize for anyone that's going to hear the clack of the wheel. That's just the curse of putting stuff in audio format on there. Also, next week, Wednesday, review season starts. New review a day until they're done, which I think is somewhere around Christmas. So yeah, got that. Also, next week, Wednesday's top 5 will be the top 5 all-mountain freestyle boards for 2021, 2022. So that's the new boards coming out. So that's a big list. You got that to look forward to as well. I'm going to try to read you guys some angry-ass emails that I got because, why not? Because evidently a bunch of fucking monoskiers got really, really, really butthurt with last week's top 5. I guess they didn't like being told that they're actually monoskiing, because they are. They're slalom monoskiing. A lot of angry, and by a lot I mean it was like 12 people. But they were very vocal about it, and it was very funny. I was laughing because they can't laugh at themselves, which is sad. Anyways, yeah, get your questions in the chat box. I'm going to try to answer them. Super chats, get a spin at the wheel. Somewhere around here, there's probably a moderator lurking. We also got a Slim Whitman voicemail for later if anyone wants it. And we got the first super chat of the day from Letters. He's like, spin for stickers, because that's all we ever do is give out stickers. Eat your muscle cheese. I was trying to make some muscle cheese with my knees, and it didn't work out before this started. But yeah, okay. All right. Also, we got Kevin Hub in the chat for anyone that would like to talk to Kevin Hub. He's not dead yet. It's close. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Timmy TT, have you heard or know anything about island snowboards? The Snowboard Asylum UK has started to stock them. The only thing I know about the Snowboard Asylum is that I've got an affiliate link down below. I've never heard of island snowboards. I'm going to have to dig into that here after this live stream, kind of see. My guess is it's probably a store brand. A lot of companies are going to store branded stuff now. So like the house has Chamonix, Evo has Season equipment. There's a few other ones that are a little out there. So yeah, let's see. We got Rubo Eris. Why not? A little spin to win action for Rubo Eris there. Let's see what we got. R.I.P. to L. Kevin's adventures. R.I.P. But yeah, next week, Thursday, we're going to pull someone out of the boot. I mean, there's got to be at least 400 or 500 entrants in there to win a snowboard. So yeah. All right. Oh God. Let's see what we got here. Looking for some questions. And, let's see. Okay, RMS, have you ridden Elevated Surfcraft? No, because I don't give a fuck about that brand, because the owner's a fucking kook. Fuck him. Aaron Leibowitz can suck a fart out of my goddamn fucking ass. Fucking entitled little Trustafarian bitch-ass motherfucking piece of shit. Fuck him. I know the boards are actually built well because they're built by GP87, and I know that they have to be re-engineered by Eric, the board designer, so that they can actually be ridden by the average consumer instead of the bullshit that Aaron makes for himself. Like, fuck that brand. I don't give a fuck about them. They can go out of business, and that guy can drive his shitty ass fucking bus with his stupid ass dog off a fucking cliff and it can fucking blow up. So yeah. Okay. That is a very Russian name. Okay, we're gonna try this. Semi on enrage. Kami enrage. That's what we're going with here. How does the Mountain Twin feel compared to the Outer Space Living? Is it much stiffer? Looking for an all-mountain freestyle board to progress with. Waiting for the next week's top 5. So they softened the Mountain Twin up, and it's probably actually closer to the Indoor Survival from Capita than the Outer Space Living. The Outer Space Living will be softer in terms of flex. The Outer Space Living would probably be closer to the Jones Frontier. But if you're still looking for like an all-mountain freestyle board to progress with, you can do it with the new Mountain Twin because they've made it that much softer. It's more freestyle in terms of its flex, so it's a little bit more forgiving overall. So yeah, you got to watch out for that. But I mean, you really can't go wrong with that Outer Space Living either. They're both great. All right, Seves, binding recommendations for an IPP Honolulu, deciding between Malavitas or Strata. I don't know. The issue with the Malavita is that little piece on the base tray, there's like a little wing that comes off. So when you flex the board on the outside, if you don't land straight, you'd like twist flex when you come down on a jump. It's going to push into the top sheet and it can start to crack it. The Strata does not have that problem. That would be my thing of paying attention to with it. Otherwise, you can't go wrong with either of those in terms of flex matching up to that board. If you want like a third option for it, I'm going to throw out the Ride C8 as well. All right. Got another super chat here from Fruit Poot Loops. Avran Chan Nayaka Daisuke Desu. I have no idea what that means, and my Japanese or Korean or Chinese or whatever it was is awful. Well, won yourself a jumbo sticker pack, sir. Again. So you know the drill. Email me info@angrysnowboarder.com and I'll get that in the mail to you. I haven't sent out everyone's stuff yet. I was trying to source some stuff and get some other stickers in before I could do that. So, all right. Got a question here from Natural Diversity. Hey, homie, all my Travis Rice Quicksilver gear failed on me after a 150-day season on Hood. Any other brand you recommend that would be more reliable? Don't want to waste my Millem. Well, first off, 150 days is a long time to get stuff, especially if you use it consecutively in that heavy, wet snow that you get on Mount Hood. So you probably should be washing it with Tech Wash at about the 100-day mark to re-up the waterproof seal on there. Otherwise, you're going to be looking – you really want something with a higher rating because you're dealing with that wetter snow up there. So you're looking at something that you at minimum, you want 15K mm, but you really probably want to go like 20 to 30K on everything. So I think a raccoon's trying to get in here, or it's my dog. Speaking of raccoons, she and I took on 4 the other night, and I had to dong one over the head with a shovel to get it away. Needless to say, me and the dog, 2. Raccoons, 0. That's right. Since I got my dog, she has been attacked twice by raccoons and 1. But to get back to that question, yeah, I think like the higher end 686 stuff, the higher end Volcom stuff, the higher end Burton stuff will work. Some of the ride stuff, but you really got to look at like the ratings on it to really understand and see where it's at. The Theorem line from L1 as well would be an option. So that should give you a few different brands to check out. So you could definitely do that. Kevia Spilly, your face looks extra nice today. You're glowing. Yeah, I just got out of the shower. I just shaved. Got a hot date with a plate of tacos later. And you win nothing. Nothing. Okay. Also, PSA, there's a group of Russian guys going out right now registering like snowboard company names, but like .shop or .ru or .club, and they're putting up last year's product marked down like 80% off. Like, it's all a fucking scam. please do not buy into that. I mean, if you're dumb enough to buy from something like .club or .ru, you probably deserve to get fleeced. But there are scam sites out there. I've been talking about it on the Instagram. I know that they're going to go after a few more things. So I'll let my dog in here. Come on. Fairness, come. Come here. Come here. Ugh. Puppy! He's my puppy. Say hi. You're famous. Say hi. Okay. There you go. Out. Good girl. Yeah, so there's a scam site going on and whatnot out there. So got to watch out for that for everyone. Please don't get scammed. They come out like every year with this stuff. They'll probably be like some fake goddamn angry site. It'll be like angry.shop.edu or some shit. I don't know. I own a lot of angry domain names. But if you are looking for Angry Snowboarder merchandise, there will be some up next week on angrysnowboarderstore.com. I'm also bringing back the personal shopper. So if you got questions, I can't answer them in a chat or live stream or DM on social media or something, you can always just hire me to answer your questions. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, where were we? I feel like we're looking for somewhere. Charles Z. Fun, thoughts on the Jones line of outerwear? Holy shit, is that stuff technical and expensive and technical. My local shop, The Underground, is actually going to be carrying it. I've looked at a few pieces. Like, that is some serious next level stuff. It's yeah, it's high end, it's technical, it's quality from what I've seen. It's just like, it's going to be pricey. It's up there with like Patagonia, Marmot, stuff like that, Mountain Hardware. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Yagal Kamel just got the yes why for 25% off based on your comments. Advice to compliment my Arbor Westmark. Thanks for the rec. No problem. Looking forward to taking it to Colorado this winter. Think my Rome Vice will work well with it. Yeah, actually, the Vice will pair up well with it. It's just going to have a little more lateral play. Like if you're looking for lateral drive, you kind of lose that with the ASIM heel cup that it has. But overall, the Wise flex pattern should totally work with that. So yeah. Okay, Hamster Coolbane. B-Sod and Aviator 2.0 are categorized as hard charging boards. Any generalizations of differences between the two? The big differences are the camber profile and the side cuts on them. They have extra contact points, but the Jones one is a little more defined between the feet, whereas with the Black Snowbird of Death, you've just got that death grip piece right between the feet. That's it. So the Aviator and the Black Snowbird of Death reviews come out like a week apart, I think, and you'll be able to see what's going on with that a little more in depth. But overall, they sit in the exact same category. If anything, I'd say the Black Snowbird of Death is a little more demanding of a ride, just because you've got to like really push into it to drive it through a turn. Whereas the Aviator 2.0 is more reactive, so you're going to get more snap out of it when you load it up. It really does want to get in the air. That's kind of the big differences between the two. Okay. Z22, suggestion on two-board quiver, one for ripping troll tow ropes and one for out west, and bindings that'll work on both. Beginner, intermediate, park rider, expert, intermediate, free rider. Cool. So if you're looking for a rope tow board, my suggestion is you just want something minimal camber at best, that's easy to press on, that you're just going to be able to just hot lap in. So you're talking like your Ride Zero, Capita Scotty Stevens or Horoscope, Rome Gangplank, the K2 Geometric or the World Peace, even a medium. So you got like 3 tier there. So it would be like Geometric, then a little stiffer would be the World Peace, and then a little stiffer from that would be the medium as well. The Arbor Westmark, I like the rocker personally. It grips well underfoot. That's a total like small hill butter on screw on board. If you want something with 3BT, you're probably looking at the Global Warmer, or if you really want to go super soft, the Wally. Now, if you're looking for something more out west, something that's a little more versatile, free ride oriented out there, I would look at like a LibTech eJack knife or a GNU Essential Service, a Telos DST. You could do like a Ride Berserker, the Jones flagship, although I think the Ultra flagship actually rides better than the flagship. So you could do that. That kind of give you that options right there. As far as bindings go, I've been a big fan of Rome bindings lately. They've really been working for me. So I'd probably put like a Katana on each of them, or even a Vice if you're on a budget. Burton Cartel, solid. Union Strata, Ride C8, something like that. So that would get you where you need to be. All right. All right, Fruit Poop Loops, Victory Screech. RIP to L. Kevin's Adventures. All right. Okay. This is going to be a really hard question because I don't have all the information, but it comes from Dr. Gonzo. I'm in a tight budget. My country is not blessed with snow shops. First time buying as a beginner. Nitro T1 or Nitro Team paired with a Rambler binding. That Rambler binding is going to underpower both boards, in all honesty. I mean, it would match up better with the T1. If these are your only options and you're coming at it as a beginner, you don't want the Team, you actually want the T1. It's going to be a little bit more forgiving. But if you're looking at Nitro and you want more options, bump yourself down to like a Cinema or a Prime Raw instead. It's going to be a little more forgiving and easier to progress on, but you won't outgrow it right away. Then that's kind of where the T1 comes in. It's going to have a bit of a learning curve to it, but once you figure it out with that camber profile, it's going to work. And the Rambler binding will work with that, but you might want to bump up to like a Team instead, or what is the other one there? It's not the Phantom. Maybe it is the Phantom. There's like one that's like right above the Rambler, but I can't think of it right now. Okay. Minnesota Clay. Nephew turned 5 today. I'm looking to get him a board. Should I get him a larger board within reason so he can grow into it? Curious if it matters just to get him on the hill. Actually, what you should do, since your name is Minnesota Clay, hoping you're in Minnesota, look for a shop because there's probably a rental shop somewhere near you or somewhere near the resort. See if they do a seasonal rental for him, because at the age of 5, he's probably going to grow in the middle of the season, and seasonal rentals run like $150, and you can swap out as they grow. It's a great way to get them in without actually making the investment in to kids gear. And that's where I would start him if you're just starting him out. Then if he really likes it after this year, then go look at actually buying him a used kid setup, because kids gear tends to keep its resale value. So you'll actually be able to find stuff that's in good shape for cheaper than buying it brand new. So, yeah. All right. Letters. Feeling like a winner. Let's see if he's a winner. You are a winner, sir. You know the drill. Hit me up. info@angrysnowboarder.com, and I'll get that in the mail. I'm going to try to get everyone's stuff out this week. I had to make a bunch of stuff. Okay. Let's see. Well, we got 96 people in here. If you're just tuning in, you got questions, get them in the chat. I'm going to try to answer them for you. Super chats, get a spin of the wheel. If we hit 100 people, I'm going to read an email from the owner of Donic that he sent to me, because, you know, hard booters get really pissed off when you poke fun at them because they're clearly a bunch of marginalized, middle-aged white men. Fuck. All right. Let's see. Okay, where were we? Ooh, okay. Lancelot 007. What do you think about the Battalion Jam Stallion? Is it a do-it-all daily driver? It's a little... I haven't been on the... Or, have I ridden the Stallion? I don't think I've ridden the Stallion, but isn't that essentially just the wide Jam? So I've been on the Jam, and yeah, it could just be like a daily driver. You got to ask yourself, do you want 3BT? That's the big thing with Battalion. You have to ask yourself that. And it's been a while since I've been on the Jam, so I'm trying to remember if that has the all-mountain 3BT, because I don't think it has the freestyle 3BT, and each one rides a little bit different. from what I remember, it's a decent board. Wouldn't be my first choice. That's just me. But yeah, whatever you do, just avoid the whatever from Battalion. That board sucks. Maybe not the new one with the new shape that's coming out this year, but the previous iterations, I've never liked it. Okay. Okay. Okay, Steve McConnell. I'm working boots on the snow at Stowe Mountain, wondering what the best all-mountain freestyle board to ride all day in and day out. Well, got a list of that coming out next week for you there, Steve. So you'll be able to know what the top 5 are. But boards that I would look at, especially because you're dealing with variable terrain up there in Vermont on Mount Snow. Like you might get rain, you might get pow, you might get slush, you might get ice and stuff. You're going to want something that grips a little bit better. So boards that I would look at for all mountain versatility. So the GNU Rider's Choice C3, a little bit stiffer, but you can really power it. The GNU Anti-Gravity, the Jones Mountain Twin, to an extent like the K2 Manifest Team, although you might like the Broadcast. It's a little more freestyle focused as well. The Capita Mega Mercury or the regular Mercury is on that list. Basically you got a lot of broad options in there. Ooh, Clancy McIntyre. Could a spring break slush lasher work well for an all mountain free ride boarder? I mean, if you're looking for a party board, yes. If you're looking for it to ride every day, no. Ford Phillips, Rome Vice versus Union Strat. Is the Katana worth the $100 jump from the Vice for park groomers and trees? Honestly, not really. There's really not much of a difference when you bump from the Vice to the Katana. You get a little bit different strap in there, and I think there's something with the base plate, but it's not much different because they're all like used off the same mold. Save your money and get the Vice. When you're talking Strata to Vice, the big thing is the Strata's Minidisc and stuff. It gives it a little bit more of a surfy feel underfoot, but it does have more outside power just because the way the heel cup is shaped on there versus the Vice. You got that ASIM heel cup, so you get a little bit more lateral play. Honestly, if you're trying to save a couple bucks, the Vice is one of the best bang for the buck bindings out there. Okay. Letters needs one more hit on the wheel. I'll just add that to the collection of your medium and your small. There you go. All right. Kevius Billy with a PSA for all the sex workers out there. Marginalized middle-aged white man bussy is grossly undervalued in today's market. I wouldn't know, but sure. All right. Nixon Super Chat gets a spin. So that's going to be Enrico Espataro. Have you tried the new Mercury? I have. There's a tweak with the effective edge, which changes its edge hold on it just a little bit. Most people probably won't notice it, but I noticed it right away. It just feels a little more hooky. It changes the locked-in feel that it has on edge. I haven't scheduled that review yet, but it will probably be like first or second week of October that will actually drop on here on YouTube or on angrysnowboarder.com. And you get a spin of the wheel, sir. All right, well, next on Super Chat gets a spin of the wheel. But right now, I'm going to read you guys a funny-ass email I got from the owner of Donick Snowbirds. Now, mind you, it was a holiday weekend this weekend. It was a Labor Day. I don't expect to wake up on a Saturday to emails, and it's like there's no greeting or anything. It just says Donick Snowboards. I don't watch a lot of snowboarding videos on YouTube, even though I make some. I just saw your QAnon-esque video on hard booting and had to say something. I also watched your video on the top 5 semi-good carving boards from 3 years ago and heard you say, I don't understand hard booting, and compare one of those boards to a BX board. If I have to explain the joke and why I said that, you might be a fucking moron. What is completely clear to me is that you've never been on a real BX board and have definitely never been on a hard boot board. Yeah, I don't fucking ski, dude. Dude, you live in the same biggest manufacturer of border cross boards and hard boot boards in the U.S. That's not a bragging point. As the subject of hard boots clearly dominates your thoughts, it's time to actually try it and understand it. No, the only reason I made that list was one pissed off guy that couldn't speak English, which is not a knock against it, but his translation was just so bad and funny. But he kept saying that I was a detriment to the sport of snowboarding and hindering people getting into it because I picked on hard booting because I made an offhanded joke about carving boards, which, newsflash, I pick on fucking everyone. Don't fucking feel that you're all so mighty. So I decided that I was going to make this to poke fun at him because if you can't laugh at yourself, you fucking suck. Clearly, they can't laugh at themselves because some people quit Angry Snowboarder VIP over it. Got a couple death threats. A bunch of people trying to tell me that hard boots are more comfortable than soft boots, which tells me that they are fucking sedated in the goddamn 80s. Let's see. Yeah, just the stupidity of everything. Got a couple links to a bunch of people mono-skiing. I was like, cool, you're making mono-ski turns. I don't give a fuck about you. Basically, if you can't laugh at yourself, like, I laugh at the fact that I get paid to ride snowboards every day. It's not like I'm fucking curing cancer or helping the planet in any way, shape, or form. If anything, I'm probably more of a hindrance because of this shit. But still, it was that whole thing. So, anyways, this email continues. This is an invitation to come to the Donic factory for a tour and to take out as many demos as you like all season. I'm reasonably confident I can get you set up with good instruction for your first day on hard boots as well, although it sounds like you've pissed off a lot of hard booters, so you might get instruction from another angry snowboarder. No, I'm going to get instruction from probably someone that I wouldn't want to hang out with anyways, that I'd have nothing in common with, that probably sucks dicks with their butthole, and is an annoying pissant. Like, if you can't laugh at yourself because I cracked some fucking jokes, you fucking lose. That's just how it is. They're sitting around like, oh, you fucking picked on me. I've picked on inner city youth snowboard charities, jibbers, women's snowboarding, men's snowboarding, competition snowboarding, vloggers, myself, more of myself, online reviewers, more of myself again. I pick on everything because at the end of the day, it's fucking snowboarding. If you can't laugh at yourself in this, there's things that I take very seriously in snowboarding, but at the end of the day, am I fucking curing the world's problems? No, I'm not. Like, none of this is. But if it gives you guys a respite from the real world and allows you to be entertained and feel that, you're getting good advice and everything, it would be, it's good for you guys. And that's kind of where I leave it at. But these guys clearly can't. Like, one of them was like, you need to fucking show me how good you can carve. Proceeds to have videos on his YouTube account of him doing some of the sloppiest ass heel side turns on a carving board I've ever seen. Just kicking it right out. Cool, dude. You know what I don't do? Kick out on heel side turns because, well, one, I'm not facing downhill and trying to hold a mono pole in my hand because you know who carries poles in their hands? Skiers. And you're a skier. But still, so this whole thing, like this. But I love that invite to come to the factory. If you've seen one U.S. factory, you've pretty much seen them all. It's going to be kind of dirty. It's not going to be fancy. And on top of the fact, I've come to the conclusion I never want to ride a Donic snowboard. Why? Because I don't think they're fucking special. I think they overcharge for what you get. And they're like, oh, we make all these custom boards to your weight and your specs. Okay, cool. Are you actually legitimately milling the core different millimeters to the specs of the actual customer? Or do you have pre-made cores that you're like, well, this will work. And then you're slathering a fucking gallon of epoxy in there, putting your goddamn fiberglass in there. I mean, you use a Durasurf base. I get it. Crown Plastics is a Colorado company, but Durasurf as a base, in my opinion, is inferior to Isosport. Why is it inferior? One, I noticed that it burns more. Like, you get that base burn effect, so it dries out. Two, it rips easier when you hit a rock. Isosport is a harder PTEX. I've just come to that conclusion. I'd rather ride a board with Isosport. Now, with that said, there's like, unless you got an all-black base from Durasurf, which is what you want, because when you get to the colored bases, they rip so much easier. That's where the issue is with it. Or you get the clear one, which is still hit or miss depending on what batch it came out of, evidently, because I've ripped some and I've had other ones and I'm like, holy fuck, this thing's indestructible. Like, I don't get it. On top of the fact, if I review or ride any of these Donics, they're going to get free fucking publicity. And the other thing is, if I don't praise the Napton twin, I'm a fucking heretic and I got to deal with that troglodyte's fucking fan base. Cool, dude, you do gymnastics routines in the art form of carving. I get it. Like, it bought you a house. Cool, good for you, man. Like, cool. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I represent in snowboarding. Just like I don't give a fuck about hard booting. You want to know why no one cares about hard booting? Because of the cost. Because it doesn't look fun. Because you're riding stiffer boots. Like, the best was the guy that tried to tell me his boots had more lateral flex in hard boots. No, your lateral flex is coming from that plate you're on, because you can actually tweak it over on there. You're not mounted down there, but you're not getting that lateral flex. Like, I'm sorry. You're all butthurt because you think you're so fucking marginalized. I don't give a fuck about you. I thought it was funny. Poke a little bit of fun at it. I'll probably pick on someone else next month. That's kind of how it goes. I mean, shit. But they want to sit around and cry about it. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Get over yourself, dude. No one gives a fuck that you hard boot. It's like, have you ever like ran into a hard booter? They want to tell you that you can't carve. Like, that's the first thing. You're just not carving. You're just not carving. Okay, well, what were the Yagoons doing 8 years ago? That was awesome on 300 vertical. Yearning for Turning from Karua. Amplids boards. What about all these companies that are actually making resort carving boards that you don't have to ride hard boots? I mean, Peter Bauer even said, he's like, I don't make hard boot boards. He's like, you can do it in soft boots. And he's probably riding like a 45-40 angle or something like that. Dude can rip on it with soft boots. Why? Because it's fucking obsolete. I mean, they kind of remind me of people that restore Pintos. I don't know why you'd restore a Pinto, but there's people that do it. They get joy out of it. It's not for me. And I just sort of look at it and I'm like, really? That's what you restore out of everything out there? Okay, fine. That, you know, they're fucking Luddites. Like, so, whatever. Oh. Yeah. So this is, yeah. That was how I started my holiday weekend. And I was going to write a whole response. And I finally was just like, looked at it, I was like, why would I give them the fucking time? I don't want to ride their shit. I'm at this point where if I don't want to ride a company's shit, I'm not going to ride it anymore. I don't care. Why? Because there's so many better board brands out there. And on top of the fact, you want to tell me that a $900 board is what everyone needs? No one needs a $900 board. Like $400, $500 board, fucking great for the average person. That's what they need. Like, fuck. This is where I'm at. Okay. All right. Okay, Adam McCow. Well, I'm losing weight, 30 down, 40 pounds to go. That's fucking impressive, dude. Should I get a seasonal rental for the season or get a Mountain Twin 57 in my hopeful body weight, 175? Will I overpower it early on? Okay, so 40 pounds, 25. No, get the 57. You'll be fine. If you're losing weight, you'll be fine on it. It's just going to be a little bit more softer flexing. That's all you just need to be aware of with it. So, like when you're over the weight range on a board, it just becomes a little bit softer flexing. It's a little bit more forgiving. Go that route. I think just buy it. You'll be fine and do that. And I owe you a spin of the wheel. So let's do this. Ooh, reverse spin again. Pray to the altar of snowboarding. Yes. Okay, where were we? I know we got a bunch of questions in here. Got some new people tuning in. If you're just getting in here, get your questions in the chat box. A lot super chats, get a spin of the wheel. Yeah, that's kind of where we're going with things. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, where were we? Try to find a good question here. Freshly Grays, what Colorado mountains are worth the visit? It depends what you want out of your visit to Colorado. Each town has its own individuality, and some of them are just resorts. And so they're a resort town, so everything's jacked in there. Like, I love Copper, but staying at Copper is way different than staying in Frisco and then bussing over or driving over to Copper in there. And that mountain's got a little bit of everything. It's probably got the best terrain park in the United States, if not the world, in there. But you can find, like, the tree riding's phenomenal. Just the diversity in the terrain is great. Breckenridge, it's great that you have a town right there. It actually has really good tree riding on the lower mountain. Has some of the steeper terrain when you get up the Independent Imperial Super Chair up there, and you can like hike out Whale's Tail and stuff like that. It's fun, and you've got 5 peaks to choose from. Keystone's a shithole, but people like it for some reason. I don't know. I mean, the front side of the mountain's usually in the shade by 11 o'clock, so it just firms up and goes to crap, and people will tell you how great it is. It's a shithole. A-Basin, steep rocky terrain, but if it's got low snow, you're going to hit everything with it. Loveland. A powder day at Loveland can be absolutely amazing, but it's all above tree line, so visibility can be shit. Steamboat's got a kind of a mix of everything. Low-angle trees. It's very easy on your knees as a resort just because it gets a lot of powder in there. Winter Park, another shithole. A lot of meth. Not a big fan, in case you haven't gotten it. Moguls. A lot of moguls at Mary Jane on that side. Aspen, where Kanye goes to cry, or used to. Now he goes to Jackson Hole. Maybe it's where Kim goes to cry. Anyways, you got 4 mountains down there to kind of choose from. Down in southwest Colorado, if they get snow, it can be absolutely phenomenal. If they don't, it's low tide in there. Wolf Creek, you want to go in the early season, snow's going to be great. As the season progresses, everything starts to fill in. It gets flatter. Crested Butte, steep, aggressive terrain, but doesn't get a lot of the snow that the northern mountains get in there. Telluride, kind of similar to Crested Butte. Oprah has a house there. Tom Cruise, celebritology. Got to watch out for that. Yeah, so that's kind of Colorado. Like, ask yourself what you're looking for. Just anything that's on the Epic Pass, you just expect giant ass lines, and you're gonna probably pay out the ass. That's the real truth there for that. Okay. Story 3333. Hard booters like to boot their boots up their ass. Just a little PSA. Oof, lose a turn. Okay. Colin Wynn. Hard boots and a skate banana. You know you want to. I don't want to do anything. I don't. Fire cures all, and I'm going to go burn my face after this because I had to go get on a rant about fucking hard booting. Okay. Fruit Poop Loops. Spin for Slim. Oh, God. I got a Slim Whitman voicemail, too, this week. Like, remember to eat your muscle cheese, everybody. I'll give you guys a Slim Whitman voicemail because, you know, this is how we roll around here. Whew. It was a long one.
Yes, hi. This message is for me, Brady, Snowboarder, Avran, this Slim Whitman. Okay. I have several matters to discuss with you. Okay. Number 1 is Harold K. I'm not sure if I should get the Harold K. vaccinated. Okay, because I'm concerned. Because Jenny Anderson. Okay, I watched her thing where she did the thing about the vaccine, and also Nicholas Mueller. Maybe you know him, and I don't do me. I'm not sure what to do. Okay, calm down. Okay, that's just one thing that needs to cover today. Okay, listen, and the other thing I need to cover is, okay, I'm very, very concerned about the content of your most recent live stream. You played several private voicemails between Glenn Whitman and Avran LeFeber. Okay, I don't like that. It makes them
Man.
very dangerous. You know what happens when Linda dies.
Well, I think Slim was driving while he was sent that voicemail. Maybe he drove off a cliff after he had an aneurysm. Oof. Okay, what do we got here? Levi Lieb wants a spin of the wheels. So here we go. What do we got? Fire cures all, people. Fire cures all. Let's see what we got here. I feel like we're missing some questions. Okay. Levi Lieb also has thoughts on Kemper boards. Actually got a bunch of reviews on everything that they make at this point in the Kemper reviews playlist. The boards are actually made of GP87, so they're quality. Some of the camber profiles can be a little bit wonkapotamus on there, but like as much as I would like to hate them, they actually ride well, and I'm like, oh, okay, that works, you know. At the end of the day, they're just another snowboard brand. I mean, if you're getting a deal on one, cool. Some of them ride better than others. It really depends on which one you really want to go into. Okay. Should I slay or should I flow? Nice little rant. I'm fulfilled. Are ramblers okay for a yes typo or arbor element for all mountain and some parks? Spin for the pup. RIP raccoons. You know, they'll work. The Rambler will work on those boards. Wouldn't be my first choice. I'd probably bump up to the Team or the Phantom instead for the all-mountain versatility in there. But if you're on a budget, they will work. All right, let's give it a spin. Ooh, got yourself entered twice into next week's raffle. That's right, next week, giving away a snowboard. So make sure you tune in, and you'll get to see me draw. I'll draw the winner too. Now there's one going in the boot. Yeah. Fuck. There's so many people entered in there. But yeah, I haven't figured out what snowboard I'm going to give away next week, but we're going to give away something good, I think. And yep. Let's see. Other questions. Okay, let's see. Where were we? No. Let's see. Where were we? Okay, Red Dad. In dire need of your gear, Sherpa. I need a directional all-mountain board for riding groomers, hard pack, ice, snow park, intermediate rider with stratas on the east. How directional you want to get? That's the real question. Okay, so you're on hardpack and dealing with ice, so you're dealing with that fucking East Coast boilerplate, and if you're solid intermediate, you can get away with the Jones flagship. If you're really worried, bump down to a Frontier. Otherwise, if you want to look at something from Yes, you could do the standard or the typo. Even the new greats would be solid, although the greats is probably a little more freestyle focused than he wants. So the typo would be better. Let's see. Rome National comes to mind. To an extent, the Ride Berserker would be in there, but that might be a little too much board for you. Let's see what else. Well, the new anti-gravity will work too. That's actually a fun board. Should have good grip because it's got the magnet traction. If you look at Rosnell, you'd probably be looking at like the Revenant. That board's absolutely phenomenal, actually, for what it is, like the price and everything. That's a really good board. So I definitely check that one out. All right. All right. Oh, we got the moderator, Billy Ray Valentine. R.I.P. L. Kevin Stacker's Adventures. Rest in peace. R.I.P. 70 days until I'm on Snow and Mammoth. Gonna get me a FM Light and Sun Stetson after I hit a tree. The best boot is the one Arthur Longo wears. Oh my God. There's a lot of run-on sentences in that one. Remember to subscribe, people. Remember to subscribe. Okay. Ralph Horsley. Hey, man, I'm going into a ski gear shop to buy my first pair of non-rented boots. Should I bring my bindings or board with me to check compatibility? Never hurts. I mean, even if you just leave it in the car or whatever, never hurts to take your binding with you just to make sure everything will work with you. Remember when you're trying on the boot? Yeah, I got props. I got all the props. So like when you're trying on the boot, what you want when you're all tied up in the boot, you want to make sure that your big toe is just touching the end of the boot. And then when you flex it with your knee over the ankle, it's going to pull just a hair off the end and you'll be able to wiggle and have a little bit of room in there. You want to make sure as well that you don't have any pressure on the sides there or that your instep is being crushed. And the best advice I can give you, since you're getting your first pair of real boots, these are stock insoles. Almost every boot has them. They have no fucking arch support. They are trash. Get an aftermarket insole, whether it's a shred sole, it's a Remind insole, Superfeet, anything like that. Not a Dr. Schultz, but something like that. Pull the stock insole out, put that in there, try to match it up with your arch. That way you're going to get a solid fit in there, and especially when you're trying on boots. Like, first thing I would do is literally walk over and be like, and look at the insoles, and I'd get an insole, figure out which one matches, and then I'd be like, hey, can I try these on with boots? I'm going to buy both of them if they work. Or even ask the guy that's boot fitting you if he has a recommendation for what insole would work for you. You know, you want to make sure it matches that instep and everything. And get that all really dialed in. But yeah, you want to make sure that like you're not having any issues with your feet and stuff. You don't want your like big toe poking through the liner and whatnot. So yeah, I have all sorts of weird audio visual aids. Okay. Richard Medico, spinny, spin, spin. All right, we're doing it. Fire cures all. Oh, our boy, the healthy snowboarder. Checking in from the Silverthorne Skate Park. What's up, Snowboard family? Back on snow soon. A-Basin is scheduled to open 10/25. Loveland was actually testing guns. I talked to my boy Italo, who runs their park over there, does snowmaking and grooming and other things. And I was like, hey, is this just a test? Or are you making? And he's like, it's a test. We're just blowing the lines. We're getting everything ready. But here we are, the 9th of September. They're already testing the guns. They're getting ready. So hopefully we're going to have a normal season. So, yeah, be safe out there, people. It's coming. Cameron Gilchrist, if you have to buy a board online, how do you determine if you're a beginner or an intermediate rider? Do you have any rules of thumb? Do you suck? Do you feel that you suck? Do you feel that, like, you fall getting off the chairlift and that you're scared to get like 5 miles per hour of speed? Then you're probably a beginner. Can you link a turn? Do you actually know what a carve is and you're not skidding that shit? Do you know how to make it down variable terrain without dying? Can you pop over a slow sign? Do you know how to spray skiers? You're probably an intermediate. Okay, T. Jones. Say hi to Ginger Ninja, Lisa Jones from Liverpool. Hi, Lisa Jones from Liverpool. My name's Avran. I don't know if you're a ginger or if you don't have a soul, but if you don't have a soul, I can sell you one because I've been slowly collecting them for the impending doom of me dying and having to go to hell. So if you'd like to buy a soul because you're a soulless ginger, get at me. But if you have a soul, good for you. There you go, T. Jones. Spin again. All right, Mr. Jones, you won yourself a small sticker pack. All you got to do is email info@angrysnowboarder.com. Make sure you put your address in there, and I'm going to drop that in the mail, I don't know, next week. Okay. Arnis asks, any thoughts on heat moldable insoles? Here's the issue with heat moldable insoles. If they're the do-it-yourself at home, you guys are doing them wrong. You're actually collapsing the arch. You're not getting the support you need. Yeah, it's molding to your foot, but it's not giving you what you actually need in there. Now, if you're actually like going into a shop and they're baking them in the oven and then they've got the mold and they're actually manipulating it to compensate for whether you pronate or supinate your feet, then yes, it's great. But most of these ones are like, oh, just throw them in your oven and then you stand on them for 15 minutes and you do it. One, you cook food in that oven and now you're putting plastic in there that's going to come back out, which you should never do that. Trust me. I used to make toaster strudels in the same oven that I made my fucking insoles with. I don't recommend it, but then again, I was trying to kill myself, so who cares? But yeah, don't do that. They don't really work as well as people think they are. So. All right. Okay, well, looks like we're kind of caught up on questions. So if you got questions, get them in there. I'm going to try to answer them, do what we can. We got Kevin Hub in the chat answering people's questions as well. Super Chat's get a spin of the wheel. Also, did everyone catch Benny Millem's Enchanted Forest video? The link is in the description, but you should go watch that. It's a Red Bull Snow production at Trollhagen. It's amazing like what they were able to do this summer and just put together this edit of him riding through the woods, hitting log jibs. As someone that lives in Breckenridge and used to ride Breckenridge where there's a ton of log jibs, or there used to be, that is super hard stuff, but to see them do it, the production value was absolutely amazing. That video, like, that's what we need, is more like higher quality edits coming out there and people promoting them. Like, seriously, go click the link. It's down below. Go watch it. It's like 7 or 9 minutes long, something like that. And there's some behind the scenes stuff at the end of it. Super, super solid. That edit, absolutely friggin' phenomenal. Loved watching it. I've watched it like 3 times now. Like, just the cinematography, how they do everything, so much better than watching someone with a fucking GoPro in the park that makes the same edit every day of the week. But yeah, super solid. Okay. Russian name I cannot pronounce. Seme and Rape. Amber, thank you for your answer. I have one more question. What snowboard waist width should I be aiming for with an 11.5 size boot? And does the extra 8mm excuse me, extra 8mm waist width on wide boards really matter that much? Yes. Well, the waist doesn't. It's not the waist that actually matters. Like, waist width is one of the stupidest measurements on the snowboard. Like, it's great if you want to understand like your side cut and everything. Do we mount our bindings at the dead center of the board? No, we mount our bindings out closer to the tip and the tail. We should actually have, and so there are companies that do this. So Nidecker, Marhar, I think Amplit does it now. The width underfoot. So like where it should be off the reference stance. That should be what it tells you. Because here's the thing. Your waist width is the narrowest point of the board. And then the tip width is obviously, unless it's tapered, is the widest point of the board. Right? So what you want to do is take the tip width, subtract the waist width, divide that number by 2, then add that number to the waist width again, and roughly that is what the board's width is slightly underfoot. I mean, that's obviously more important. 8mm, yeah, that can make a difference because it's 8mm at the width. That can be like 12 to 16 millimeters underfoot because it's getting wider out there. And so that's the big thing that really matters, is because that's where you mount it. Like, the waist width thing is a throwback to fucking hard booters. Who gives a fuck about them and skiers? Like, skiers mount their fucking binding right at the waist or near it, you know, give or take. Like, they might set it back a little bit. They might move it a little bit forward. It's a measurement that really doesn't make sense in this day and age, especially with everything getting wider in snowboards in there. Like, the underfoot width is the bigger thing. Like, I've gotten to the point where I can like eyeball a board and be like, oh yeah, that'll fit a 10. That'll do that. Like, you know, realistically, like with an 11.5 at minimum, you probably want like a 25.5, ideally a 26. But the bigger thing is, what is that width underfoot? Is it like 28? Is it 29? I mean, like this board here. So custom one off This thing is, was it 28.5 or 29 underfoot, something like that right there. I have a 10 boot. I don't worry about this thing booting out. Also, one of these is getting given away in the future, and one of these is going up on the store next week. There's 2 of them with this red, with the black and white base. So from Marhar Lumberjacks 152s. So be selling those. Shameless plug, angrysnowboarderstore.com. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay. Alexi Sonic. Avran, you and Kevin used to do a catalog review for all brands on the podcast. Will you do something like that in the future? No. Oh, God. That was like, oh, fuck. I think the last time we did that, it was like 5 hours of filming and talking and working and then all the editing. They go, no, the podcast is dead. Basically, what's going on is I saved the SoundCloud account that we used to upload the podcast to. I pretty much removed all the old stuff. And now I'm uploading the live streams audio and I'm uploading reviews audio. So all the reviews that drop will also be in SoundCloud, which I think I've got it set to populate like iTunes, Spotify, everything like that. If not, I think I just got to go pay some money to make them do it. But you'll be able to listen to that. And I'm thinking I might do top 5s too in there. But the goal is to just kind of broaden our reach, so you're not just like, oh, I got to go to YouTube to watch this video, or I got to go to angrysnowboarder.com. But so you can actually listen to us somewhere else to kind of broaden our reach in there and whatnot. But yeah, as of right now, like it's a rarity that Kevin's actually in here, just scheduled stuff like that. It's going on. And I also saw there's a question about like, will we have a special guest gal reviewer? Probably not this year. I don't know if next year, like every year I want to do it. It just doesn't happen. And I get that question a lot. It's just one of these things, kind of working on it. Basically, if in order to expand, I got to make more money. And in order to make more money, I either need more people to sign up to angrysnowboarder.vip, which is run on Patreon. I need more people to buy the merchandise from angrysnowboarderstore.com. Even just clicking like and leaving a comment on any of the videos, that helps the algorithm, that pushes that up as well. Or clicking the affiliate links in all the videos descriptions, stuff like that. Basically, it comes down to money. Like when I started this, I basically put myself, I think like $45,000 in debt and maxed out a credit card and sold all my stocks and everything to get Angry to where it is today. Like I just believed that I could make it work. Now we're actually making money, but I need to make more money to hire more people, which makes sense. So like right now, with the pandemic and everything, I pretty much was running it as a one-man show. And I'd like to get away from that. I'd like to be able to hire someone to edit, which I've actually got a guy lined up for that. It's just a matter of money and finances. So if everything can come in. So I'm really banking that this fall through the winter, pending Rona doesn't fuck us all over, we'll get where we need to be. So yeah. Okay, Keith Cook, looking for a free ride all mountain board that's maneuverable in the trees, carves nice on the groomers, and can float. Thinking Stratus or Frontier. They'll both work. I'd probably go with the Stratus. It's a little more all mountain versatile, but if you're looking for free ride specifically, you'd probably be better off going to a flagship instead. It's just a little bit better. So with that, otherwise, yeah, I'd probably do Stratus over the Frontier. Okay, where were we? Let's see. Okay, Levi Lieb, where would you recommend going heliboarding? Thinking about doing a trip in either Canada or Alaska currently. I do Alaska, but the big thing is you got to make sure that you line it up with the right weather patterns, because if you don't, you could just get grounded and be sitting there and not get up. Canada's probably a little more safe, something in the interior. In there, I hunt around and see what month typically people are doing heliboarding. That's the way I'd look at it. You want to make sure that you get it to coincide in a time when there's not raging storms that'll keep you grounded. Christopher E. Are men's versus women's bindings any different if they are made to fit the same size boot? Example, Rome Vice versus Guild was thinking of just having her use a pair. They're narrower, and they have a lower high back because women's calf muscle sits lower in there, so their boots are actually cut out lower, so the high back corresponds to their boot shape and everything. So it's all designed to just around that calf muscle sitting lower and the foot being narrower. Realistically, bindings are unisex, but at the same time, if you've got a little woman and you're trying to put her into a binding that isn't sized right for her, she's going to get calf bite and she's probably going to get slop side to side. So, Josh Dunn, K2 lean AT on a Rosnell sashimi. Oh, hell yeah. That is a great binding to pair with the sashimi because you got that customization with that heel block. It's on that pod system, so you can kind of just line it up where you need it to be if you want it to be a little more power driven or if you want it to be a little more slashy and surfy when you're riding the white wave. Steve McConnell, what do you think of the T-Rice Pro for all mountain freestyle board for everyday driver? It's okay. Wouldn't be my first choice. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of it. The other thing with the T-Rice Pro is each size flexes different. So the 53.5, then there's the 57.5 and the 61.5. Each one rides completely different. It's basically 3 different boards under the same moniker. So you got to make sure that you line that up right. Okay. Let's see. Zach Luan, looking to buy an Endeavor archetype, but unsure of what size. I'm 165 pounds with a size 10 boot. Suggestions? Okay, so that 10 boot is going to limit you just because if you go below the 58, like to the smaller sizes, that taper is so aggressive that back foot's going to boot out on you. So at minimum, you're looking at, I think, like the 58. Otherwise, I think it's a 57 wide. And since you're using it as a powder board, that's probably the size you want to do it. Now, I ride the 58. I actually have mine like right there. So there's that 58 right there. And I can get away with a size 10 on that with my 21.5 width stance because like I don't slam it all the way back. If I slam it all the way back, I'd probably boot out on a hard toe side carve. But yeah. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else we got going on here. All right. Beeswax, would you ever do a bomb hole episode? I mean, if it corresponded with me actually being in Utah, maybe. I mean, good for them on what they're doing. Like, I think people really enjoy it. In all honesty, I've probably listened to maybe 10 minutes of one. Just don't have time. Like, if I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm going to listen to something I enjoy versus something I consider work. And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, they have a lot of great people come on there. Me being on there would not kind of fit, like, some of the great people that they've had on there, in my opinion. I think it would probably be interesting. But I know Grenier fucking hates me because, and I quote, he made one of the worst snowboards I've ever fucking ridden in my life, the Solomon 6-piece. I think that kind of butthurt him a little bit. And it's like, dude, you made a shitty snowboard. Fucking own it. You wanted to make something that was an homage to 90s riding with a longer effective edge and blunted tips, and it rode like a turd. It was just dead and lifeless. Like, you put your name on a shit snowboard. That's on you. Get over it. Like, you might like the way it rides, but if I ride it and I'm like, man, who the fuck is this thing for? Especially when there's so much overlap between the Craft, the Sleepwalker, the Villain. It's like he came from a Salamander to that thing. And I was like, well, Salamander had a good run like that thing. I'm just fucking awful. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Glenn NT. Torn between a Capita Mega Merc or a Jones Ultra Mountain Twin. Also, what size should I be on being 175 pounds with a size 9 US boot? You want like the 57. That's going to be the ideal size for you for all mountain freestyle. Out of those two, honestly, I got to go Mega Merc on that. Like, I really do like the way the direction of the Ultra Mountain Twin has gone. It really is like differentiated from the regular Mountain Twin. But the Mega Merc, like, that's got a special place in my heart. Like I got on that board and I was like, I don't want to ride anything else the rest of the year. I just want to ride this. So let's see. Scott Jarvis. Yes, standard is a daily option. Want to get off the prototype too. Not a fan. I already have the yes, the Y. Love it. Yeah. If you're coming off of a Never Summer prototype too, go to the standard. That cam rocker is going to give you more stability. It's actually going to allow you to drive harder in a carve. It's going to make you carve better, and you're just going to feel more stable and locked in. Since you have a yes, the Y, you're kind of used to that camber profile. It's basically going to twin it out. The standard's an underrated board in the yes lineup because there's like typo, greats, basic on ink, Globe NSB or the basic decade or whatever the fuck they're calling it this day. And then there's the standard, and you're like, it's a good board, and it's just like it's just stuck in a heavy lineup that it has so much overlap. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Okay, Fruit Poop Loops with the super chat, looking for another spin. Let's see what we got here. Jesus, another small sticker pack. Add that to your collection of everything else you got. I'm just gonna send you like just super jumbo amount of stickers. Got to make more for you. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Keith Cook, what is your current daily driver when you're not reviewing new stuff? It depends on the conditions, but for most days, I'm actually riding that Endeavor archetype right there. Like for everything, I'll even go in the park. Otherwise, I've got that Mike Rankwit right there. That's kind of my all-mountain freestyle board, parkish days. I've also got that Marhar Lumberjack right next to it too. That's a custom one-off that Nate made me. I'll take that thing for a spin. I kind of want to get a popsicle stick-shaped board, but I know how it goes. Like I say that I'm going to ride a popsicle stick-shaped board, and I'll probably just ride that Mike Rankwit Mystery or My Story a bunch. So I'm trying not to buy any boards this year for me personally. I did that a bunch last year, and then I ended up just giving them all away. Yeah, so that's kind of it. And then I'll have all of them with my Rome Black Label, so I'm just going to ride those until they disintegrate and then figure out. Got 3 pairs at this point. I'm good. And I got a brand new set. Bought these at the end of last season and picked up a brand new set of Thraxuses that I got to actually heat mold and do some custom work to get. I got to actually do new footbeds this year. So for anyone that has aftermarket footbeds in your boot, the human foot for the average snowboarder changes about every 3 years because just based on the average that they ride. But if you ride like 100 days a year, your foot changes probably every year to every 2 years. So I'm coming up on a time like my arches have kind of changed. My foot's gotten a little wider, some other bone protrusions going on. So it's good to swap out your footbeds. It's not like you get your footbeds and then you have them the rest of your life. Like you've kind of reached the lifespan. The other thing, if you guys are getting new boots, break them in now before the first day of the season. You got a couple months. Like now's a great time. Get them, put them on. Just walk around the house. Like go out in the yard, play with the dog, do whatever, wear them. Really flex into them, do that stuff, help break them in. And that way, when you get out and ride, you're not going to be with some discomfort and bitching and moaning that your feet hurt. So just a little PSA there for everyone. Okay, Fleshtown. Is anyone going to take over from Kevin as the Can Kevin Carve It person this winter? I need entertainment in case we have another lockdown in the UK. We haven't even done an episode in probably like 3 years. Like it's crazy. We just schedule-wise, he and I have talked about some stuff. There might be like we get together one day and crank out like 10 boards and do that because that's kind of how we did things in the past, but we got to time it right. I don't really foresee it. It was a fun little segment. It's cool that people still have nods to that from the past now, and they want to see more of it. Do I think it's dead? I never say anything we do is dead. I just sort of say it's been put to bed for a while. Like Ask a Black Snowboarder, it's been put to bed. Can Kevin Carve It put to bed? The podcast, it's not dead. It's just like we kind of morphed into the live streaming and I'm ripping audio type thing, and whatnot. I'm actually playing around, testing some different programs that would allow me to have people call in and also be on screen with you guys. So I kind of want kind of wouldn't mind getting like some of you guys to do it. One of the other things that I'm looking at doing is I'll bring back the angry phone line, and I might just make videos where you guys call in, leave voicemails, and I answer them, but I do it in character and stuff, or I just do audio for SoundCloud for podcasting. I'm not sure. So, yeah, it's kind of where we're at. We got Vanessa Vargas who wants me to spin her. So, definitely do that. Be sure to eat your muscle cheese. Eat your muscle cheese. So, yeah. Let's see. But yeah, if you got questions, get them in there. In the chat box, I'm going to try to take a few more here. I know we're kind of winding down. I feel like I answer everyone's questions every week, or I try to answer them with everything going on. Yeah, so get those questions in. Super Chat's get a spin of the wheel. I feel sorry for anyone listening to this on SoundCloud that's got to deal with the clack of the wheel. Don't crank your headphones too loud. Let's see. Trying to see if I missed anyone's questions. Sex 1607. I have minor heel lift last season. Looking at the Vans Infused because allegedly has good heel hold tech. Thoughts on the boot? Best boot's the one that fits your foot. If you're only getting minor heel lift, you can actually get aftermarket J bars. You can buy them on tonar.com. So, and what you do is you pull out the liner and you figure out where your ankle bone is, put them underneath there. I actually have a whole video for that in the Boot Fitting 101 series, which I'm slowly reworking that whole series right now. I'm actually hit the point where we're getting into reworking those videos, so you guys will actually get new stuff. I'm actually trying to make content for the spring. It's crazy. Finally ahead, which is great. Let's see what we got here. Okay. 4x4 therapy. Endeavor archetype too much for Aussie conditions? No, that board's actually softer than people think. Like it's low key a all mountain freestyle flex in that board. Everyone's like, oh, it's a powder board. Oh, I can't ride it. I was like, dude, I've fucking ridden that thing so many days in the park and just had a blast on it. It's softer than people think it is. I like Aussie conditions. No, I mean, keep your edges sharp on the crusty days, and when you get that 4 inches of pow, go out and fucking slay it until it gets super warm and soft. All right, spinning the wheel for you, bud. Ooh, the person under you is getting entered into the raffle draw for next week, which is Levi Lieb. So, anyways, I think my dog wants to come back in. Let's see what she wants. You can hear me, I know. Come here, baby. Let's show everyone. Yes, you're okay. It's okay, Baroness. Yeah, this is Baroness. Oh, she's had a bit of a day. She had to go to the vet this morning, found a little growth on her shoulder, so they think it's just a fatty cyst. They're not too worried. We've got to keep an eye on it. She also had to get a sonogram because she almost got raped at the dog park because somebody did not neuter their dog and just decided to unleash it into the pen with 3 unspayed female dogs that were too young to get fixed. So I think I stopped him from humping her. But yeah, I don't need to have Malinois cattle dog puppies. You're right, baby. Oh, you love daddy, don't you? Yeah, you're a good girl. Okay, go, good girl. Okay. Well, let's see. We got Kevius Billy. Cockmeat espresso is my little crab rangoon. That is very specific, sir. All right. Well, fire cures all. So do that. Yeah, you being a good girl? Yeah, you being a good girl. Okay, Keith Cook. How often do you tune your gear? Well, I don't wax. I don't believe in waxing. It's all about structure. I'll probably structure a board maybe once a season, twice, depending what's going on. For the most part, like, I tune my shit and I plan to ride it more, and then review season hits and I just ride new shit every day. So okay. Phil J, any changes on the Gremlin 2022? Thanks, man. No, they just added the Gremlin blue color to it instead of the Gremlin green. So that was it. Like, they literally are using the color palette from the old Gremlin, the AMC Gremlin. So, hey, don't eat that. Get out. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, we got one from Healthy Snowboarder. Hey, Angry, my first bindings were Contact Pros. Then I had the Union Forces. Just picked up the Union Stratas. Do you think those are a good fit for my evil twin and natural progression. I think the Strata is actually better than the Union Force. I do not like the Force. The Strata is basically the Contact Pro on crack. It's like everything you loved about the Contact Pro, but more responsive and a better binding. I think you're going to absolutely crush it with that. So I think you're solid. Okay, Levi Lieb. What a good pupper. Yeah, she's trying to be. We're doing a lot of training. She knows about 25 different commands. Baroness, hey, get out of there. Don't eat that binding. Yeah, so anyways. All right. Well, Levi, you just won yourself a small sticker pack. You know the drill. Email me. Baroness. Go get it. Go get it. Gonna put her back out there. You're okay. So yeah, just email me info@angrysnowboarder.com and I'll get that in the mail to you. Okay. Francois Segon, did you test the step-ons? Yes, there's a video of it. Yes, you can go watch it. Yes, it is on this channel. Fuck those things. I still have no idea why everyone has a boner for something that just locks you in with such limited options and really doesn't have a better performance. So, okay. Okay. Howdy, it's David. One Malinois cattle dog puppy, please. R.I.P. ESA. Oh. Lisa. You lose. Carl Bryson, what's the best binding for a LibTech e-jackknife? I would probably do the bent metal transfer on that. Otherwise, like the Ride C8 or the A8 if you wanted more response with that aluminum chassis, or a Burton Cartel. I think that's like 4 solid options right there. Okay, Philip Chevrier. Hey, Avran, I found a bottle rocket for a great deal, and I'm wondering if my Solomon holograms will work on it. Love them on my Assassin. The board seems stiffer, so no, that board will break in. Just give it a good hard flex. It'll crack the fiberglass the way it needs to. It'll break in. Holograms are fine. So, okay. All right. Well, we're kind of slowing down with questions, so I think we're probably going to call it here. Let's take like a few more, and I'm going to call it a day. I got to go take the puppy out and let her run around. She's getting a little antsy. She gets pissy this time of the day if I don't take her out. Okay. Farid Fagij. Thoughts on the union bindings in Minidisc? Some union bindings are good. Some union bindings are bad. The Minidisc does give a lot of lateral play in there. It really decreases the dead spot underfoot, so you do get a more lively feel under there. Some people have issues with that, so, you know. Yeah. Okay. And if you're just going to sit here and spam your questions, I'm not going to answer them. Okay, Waco, feelings about canting on bindings. I hate canting on bindings. Here's the thing. Like, it made sense when people were going, like, crazy friggin' wide, and so it would bring their stance back and their natural anatomy. But as more people are just riding, like, 21, 22-inch stance, you don't need it. So now you're getting people that are a little more knock-kneed and whatnot. It's just not there. I don't like it. It always hurts my knees when I ride a canted binding, anything over 1 degree. Like, but I also can't my footbeds inside my boots to compensate for things. So it's just like, so yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. 4x4 therapy. Do you see more crossover in boards now trying to do it all boards? Yeah, like All Mountain Freestyle and All Mountain Freeride are probably the 2 biggest categories out there, and there's so many boards in that category, and it's just like if you don't know where to put a board, you just like, it's an All Mountain Freestyle board, it's an All Mountain Freeride board, and there you go, and you just market it, and they cross-market it to the same people too. Yeah, so anyways, Francois Segon, thanks. I can still bend and strap my binding. I'll keep my cartels. Good man. I mean, seriously, it's like $900 for a setup for a step-on. Well, Francois, you got yourself a small sticker pack if you want it. All you got to do is email info@angrysnowboarder.com, and make sure you put your mailing address in there, and I'll get those in the mail. I think we're going to call it a day today. I'll be back next week, though. We're going to be giving away a snowboard and possibly other prizes. So we're going to do a prize raffle drawing and do that. And let's see what else is going on. Oh, also next week, Wednesday, snowboard reviews start dropping every day. So there's going to be one through the rest of the month. You're also going to get your explained videos on Monday, so don't worry about that. You get your live streams on Thursdays. We got you covered there. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. I'm glad we were able to keep the community rolling. Also, make sure you check out angrysnowboarderstore.com next week. We got new merchandise dropping there. You can check that out. If you're buying online, click the affiliate links down below. And as always, if you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not going to miss any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Check out the video over there. It kind of explains things a little bit better. And I'll see you guys in another video.